Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming Channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at Saint Mocianne's Arboretum Hard Mode. For the ads in the beginning area, the Immaculate Appas have circular AoEs that will throw out random party members that you can just move out of. The Withered Belladonnas have large cone AoEs that you'll want to avoid standing in. They also have a AoE that you'll want to avoid looking at them called Frond Fatale. This is televised by the eye in the middle of their chest, like most of the AoEs of this type. So you just want to make sure that you're turning away from the enemy at this time. When you pick up all the door pokers, they do have circular AoEs around themselves, and due to the number of them, there will be quite a bit of damage coming out. For the first boss, when you cast Odious Air, you'll just want to move out of the AoE. Vine Whip will be a tank buster ability that you'll want to either use a tank cooldown for, or healer want to increase the amount of healing done to account for this. When he summons ads into the fight, he will then begin casting AoEs that you'll need to either avoid standing in or group up for to split the damage. You'll want to keep track of where the ad is at, as when he casts Devour, he will jump to it and then cast a large AoE that has a very fast cast towards the opposite side of the platform that will deal continuous damage the longer you are in it. So when he casts Devour, you'll want to run to the opposite side of the ad as soon as possible. Taproot will be an AoE around every party member, so you just want to spread out. You will follow this with the Devour ability again, so you'll want to move to the side of the ad next to the wall to avoid the large AoE that follows. For the ads in the second area, the Blooming Boloko will cast Roly Poly. This will turn all enemies in the large circle into a different type of enemy that takes increased damage and has no abilities that you need to worry about. You'll want to position the enemies inside of it to easily kill them while avoid standing in it yourself so that you can contribute to damage still. He will cast this ability on a random party member, so you'll need to keep an eye out for where it is being cast and move the ads into it. For the second boss, once you aggro, she will cut off the outside of the platform. You do not want to be hit into this. Stone 2 will just be a large damaging ability on the tank that will need to be healed through. Tectonics will cause party-wide damage that would just need to be healed through. When she begins casting Landslip, each party member will be pushed in the direction of the arrows. You'll want to position yourself that whenever you get pushed, you are not hit by the AoEs followed up by the adds on the outside of the platform. Earthquake will be an expanding AoE that will start off with a small circle and then develop into a large donut AoE. You either want to move far away from the boss to avoid both AoEs, or move out of the first one and then in to avoid the second. Earthshaker will target 2 party members that will do line AoEs shortly afterwards, so you'll want to position yourself away from other party members. Empty Gaze is another AoE that you'll want to look away from the boss. The second Landslip will add extra enemies into the area that will do AoEs, so make sure you're positioning yourself to avoid all of these. She will follow this up quickly with her Earthquake ability. The Muddy Mata will have a large circular AoE around himself that can be easily stepped out of. When you move into the second area, there will be a water conduit that can be activated by one of your party members. You'll want to position the adds underneath the water spout so that whenever someone activates it debuffs all of the enemies. This can be activated by you, but it is interrupted anytime you are hit, so making it much harder. For the final boss, you'll want to designate one party member to deal with the little slime. I tend to deal with it myself just because I know where it's supposed to go, but if one of your other party members know what they're supposed to do, then you can ask them to do it. The slime will move every time it is hit by an ability and needs to be moved out of all of the AoEs so it is not hit and caused to explode. Mudsling will just be a damaging ability on the tank that needs to be healed through. When the ground below you begins to glow, then you'll want to stand on the green platforms to avoid the explosion AoE that comes afterwards. When you cast Quagmire, you will want to move on to the grates to avoid dropping the AoEs on the platforms as they take up the entire platform if they do. When he jumps to the center of the platform, he will then cast Mud Pie. This will summon a mud slime that will need to be moved onto one of the platforms to avoid the eruption that will follow shortly after. Your party members need to make sure they are not dropping any of the Quagmire AoEs onto the mud slime. When the boss casts Royal Flush, it will do a circular AoE around himself and the mud slime will explode. So you'll need to watch out for both of these AoEs. When he summons the Muddy Dorpokus into the fight, you'll just want to pick them up and AoE them down. After the summoning the adds, he will then cast Mud Pie again, causing the mud slime to appear on the platform, which will need to hit onto one of the platforms to avoid the eruption. Occasionally he will cast Fluorescent Flood, which will be centered at the mud slime. You'll want to hit it to move it away from this AoE so that it doesn't explode. And this should be it for St. Mocianne's Arboretum hard mode. I hope this helps everyone out. If it does, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.